Welcome everyone. That's technology for you. I'm not quite sure why the video is not playing audio because it was playing it before, but we are just so grateful that you're here and to join us for the Running for International Office webinar. If you're in this webinar, it's either because you have expressed interest, you've already started the application, you're almost done and ready to hit submit, or maybe you are an advisor or coordinator who just wants more information. Either way, we are so glad that you're here to join us. I am joined by some of the international officers this evening, and I am grateful to also have the International Officer Candidate Assistant, which is Anne McLeod. And so we're just, again, thankful that you're able to join us. This video is available on the website. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you to go to the website, to the International Officer page, and then we also have an International Officer Candidate page for FAQs. And you can also see, I call this almost like a commercial of running for international office. So again, welcome. Just as some housekeeping, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box at the bottom, and that would allow you to ask us questions throughout the presentation this evening as we go on. So let's first introduce our panelists that are joining me tonight, 3 of the 5 international officers. So first joining us is Sarah Wong, and she's representing Division 1, representing New Jersey. Woo-hoo. Then from Division 3, we have Sydney Pemberton, who's representing Kansas. And then also we have Alexa Greer from International Division 4, and she's representing the state of Arizona. Now, 2 of the officers who could not join us is Andrew Porter, who is our international president. He's from Florida, and Ashlyn Banks from Mississippi. But they certainly send their love and well wishes, and they will be grateful to see you at your regional meetings this spring, as well as at PTK Catalyst in Nashville. So my name is Angela Flake, and I'm the International Officer Candidate Coordinator, and I have the pleasure of working with these international officers when they were candidates. And I even had the pleasure of working with Anne as well. Anne McLeod is our International Officer Candidate Assistant, and she is now on staff with us. So you never know what opportunities may lie ahead. And she is joining us by phone this evening and will be assisting us during the Q&A process. So we're grateful that each of these ladies could join us this evening. So one of the first things I wanted to do is talk to you about how our divisions are laid out. We have 5 different offices you can pursue. One is International President, and that person is a part of the team, and they certainly oversee all of the divisions, but we also have 4 divisional vice presidents. Division 1, as you can see, is the East Coast. Division 2 represents the southern part of the country. Division 3, the Midwest, and Division 4, that is toward the western part of the country. And depending on where you live will represent whether you can run for international president. Anyone from any state can run for that role, or you can pursue your division depending on where you're located. So as we talk about eligibility, it's pretty simple. If you are a Phi Theta Kappa member in good standing, you're eligible to run. Also, we ask that you are enrolled in an associate level or credential or degree program at your community college, and that you have a passion for Phi Theta Kappa missions and programs, since you will be an ambassador for Phi Theta Kappa in this highest pinnacle of student leadership, and as well as the willingness to travel, because you'll have the opportunity to travel in the fall and the spring and even the summer throughout your term, and to engage in programs and initiatives of Phi Theta Kappa. So now I'd like to invite Sarah to just talk a little bit more about the roles and duties of international officers.
Thank you, Anjali. So I'm going to go into some general do's and don'ts that international officers should follow. First is we serve as as a liaison between members and headquarters. Second, we uphold the honor code, which you will be required to sign right after elections. You attend a total of 3 orientations in the summer, fall, and winter. We just had one, our last one, a couple of weeks ago, so it was a little bittersweet. And some don'ts is we do not create new society programs, and we do not set policies. And let's just go into another other do's is we preside over Honors Institute and International Convention. If you attended Honors Institute, we set goals for society participation. These are goals that each team develops and really kind of sparks your interest. And it's very different every term. So don't be you'll be working with your team on developing those goals. Third, present workshops and speeches at regional meetings. And I'm sure you've seen us at some of those regional meetings. I know I've done some on competitive edge and honors in action programming. Let's see, communicate with regional and chapter officers. Remain active in the local chapter. Just because you become an IO doesn't mean that you're not a member anymore. And one IO is chosen to serve on the board of directors. This year's student representative is Andrew, our president. And lastly, some don'ts is we do not pay for official travel. So like Anjali mentioned before, a willingness to travel is always good. And we do not serve more than one term. So once up, we are not eligible to become candidates for a second term. Next, I'll talk about some of the benefits. First is personal and professional development. We were very fortunate to be able to work with the foundation on our goal of increasing membership through the Golden Opportunity Scholarship. So depending on your goals, your professional and personal development will follow that. Travel opportunities, like I've mentioned before, we get 2 700 stipends, one in the summer and then one in the beginning of the new year. It's the highest pinnacle of leadership. We also get a technology stipend. I know this year we were able to decide on laptops. So depending on what your team needs and wants, that technology stipend will follow. We get a $500 candidate finalist scholarship. That's something that will be shared between the 10 finalists. And upon the successful completion of our term, we will be able to receive an original Phi Theta Kappa pin and a $2,000 scholarship. Next, we'll talk about the candidate application components. So you must include signatures from the college president, advisor, registrar. These signatures show that your school is aware you are running for an international officer position, but also that you have the support of your school behind you. Letters of recommendation from your community member. That community member may be your coworker or another Phi Theta Kappa member that you've spent time with and that knows you well. You will also include the honor study topic speech, and the rubric can be found in the application. A current official college transcript, and finally but not least, the distributable information piece draft and a head and shoulders colored photo. The last 2 components is something you can ask your school's PR department to help you with. Hopefully they'll be able to work with you at a discount or even for no charge. That's something you'll have to discuss with your school as well. And now I'll hand it over to Sydney.
Yes. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about your candidate photo. So you must submit a current professionally made color photo. So like Sarah was saying just a little bit ago, get with your PR department at your college, have them set up a time, even your media department, to take a professional photo for you. I know that's how I got my photo taken. Some recommendations for your photo is a plain background. Don't be standing in front of a brick building or anything like that. Make sure you're wearing your Phi Theta Kappa membership pin. And also, if you've completed 5-star from Competitive Edge, make sure you're throwing that on your photo too, so that gets out there and people know that you are a 5-star member. And you're also going to want to wear your professional attire, business suit, business casual, just so you look really professional in your photo. Next slide, there are examples of some good photos. And those are some of the candidates that had ran last year, just very polished. And then next are some not so good examples. This isn't really what we're looking for when it's blown up on the big screen in front of 5,000 people. So just make sure you're very clean, you're very put together just for that one good headshot. Next is the kind of a campaign overview and what to expect once you do get to Nashville. First, right off the bat is the candidate orientation. And that's where you're going to get to know the rest of the candidates and orient yourself with the hotel and with Angela. And she'll kind of give you, during this meeting, a lowdown of what's to come during that week and what's to expect and where you need to be and when and how you need to dress. So she'll make sure you know everything that you need to know once you get there. The distributable information piece, and then your booth that is located in the marketplace. Your distributable piece is the one that you're going to be handing out to people while you're campaigning, and it's just an overview of who you are and what you're wanting to bring to Phi Theta Kappa. It has your accomplishments, what you're trying to accomplish. And then your campaign booth is going to be in the marketplace. And I would just encourage you to have fun with and be creative with this. Really showcase who you are at your booth and through your information piece. And yeah, just make sure you're being yourself and get people to come over to your booth. Also in Nashville, this is the second year doing this, is the live candidate caucus, where you'll be given 2 or 3 minutes to have a Q&A with a moderator, and they're just going to ask you questions about yourself to get to know you a little better, what you stand for, what you want to bring to Phi Theta Kappa. They're not going to throw a lot of political questions at you. It's okay. Like, calm down. It'll be fine. They just want to get to know you. I know I got a question about pizza, so you'll be so fine, and it's a lot of fun doing that. And then campaigning. Majority of your campaigning is going to be in the marketplace, and that is where your campaign manager is going to be located. That's where your campaign team is going to be, walking around this giant room, talking to everyone about you and getting people to come to your booth. And I think we talk about your campaign manager and campaign team a little later on in the presentation, so I won't go into depth with that. And then after the first round of campaigning, you go into the primary elections. And this is where they narrow down all the people in your category to 2. And from that point, you will then give your honor study topic speech in front of the whole convention. And then once you are elected at the Hallmark Awards Gala, you'll do the installation ceremony, which is the picture down that we have of us standing with our hands up pledging. And then after that, you'll go into a candidate social where you get with all the rest of the candidates and really celebrate your accomplishments, and you're awarded a certificate, and it's a really fun time to get to know the rest of the candidates a little bit better. And then right after that, you go straight into the new officer orientation, where you meet with Lynn, and you'll meet with your international officer coordinator, and then you get a giant binder of your duties and what you need to know. And from that point, you just keep in contact with them, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on in Nashville, but that's just kind of an overview of what to expect. And then what's the next slide, Alexa? Oh yeah, and there's an example of your distributable information piece. This is the lovely Ashlyn Banks. Okay.
Let's see here.
And I think I got Alexa, you're up after that.
Awesome. Let me just click to this next slide here. So basically, I want to talk with you all a little bit about the honor study topic speech. And I feel like for a lot of people, campaigning for office is going to be your first time ever having written a speech in this capacity, and know that that's totally okay, and that you're going to do great. It's not a campaign speech, so you're not making personal appeals. It's not a 3-minute speech about you, which makes it kind of takes the pressure off. Basically, the question that you want to answer with your speech is this one right here. So what does changing global classifications of beauty and vulgarity convey about how the world works? So you have this question. You can take it in whatever way you'd like. And really think about what's going on in the world right now. What can I talk about that's relevant? What do people need to hear? What do people need to be educated on? Because I think at the bare minimum, even aside from campaigning, you have the opportunity to speak in front of 4,000 people. What do you have to say that all these people need to hear? So as it says on here, ask for feedback. For me, the more people I could get to listen to me, the better. I presented to my parents. I presented to my advisor. I presented at one of my chapter meetings. I basically got every bit of feedback I could. I think I even presented to my philosophy class. So everybody that you can get to hear what you have to say is only going to leave you feeling more confident and more able to present, basically. My best piece of advice would be make all your edits before you even get to convention. Like, make sure you have your, don't be making like any edits or anything like that while you're at convention because you're nervous and what if it's not perfect? I feel like the best thing you can do is kind of do yourself a favor and be happy with it where it is and just allow yourself to just be and kind of flow through it. And so yeah, rehearse, exactly. Get that under your belt and you'll be feeling really good. As far as attire goes, Anjali will give you, she'll send off an email telling you, okay, this day you want to be wearing this day you want to be wearing this. And you can kind of see from the pictures, we have business casual, whereas you're going to want to be business professional for events like the caucus where you're up in front of everybody and almost in a job interview type setting. It feels a little bit like being on a talk show just because you've got this live audience. It's different and fun and exciting, and no other interview will ever freak you out after this, so be ready for that. And then you can see for the gala, we have the pictures. It's much more professional, much more put together. Funny story, I didn't have a gala dress because I didn't think I'd even make it to the finalist round. So what you see there is what I wore to our first, I think I wore it to our orientation session. So just know, like, it's okay, like, it's gonna work out and what's meant to be will always be yours. Let's see here. Oh, and Anjali, did you want to play Sydney's speech? I totally forgot about that. I don't want to whiz through anymore until we get Sydney's beautiful piece out here.
Oh, no worries. We'll play it toward the end. You just keep going. You're doing a great job.
Okay, no worries. I'm a talker. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Oh, campaign managers. So we have Tatiana here in the photo. She was Andrew Porter's campaign manager. Gosh, I think of it almost as being like your campaign mom or your campaign dad. They're just the person that keeps you fed. They have a copy of your schedule. They know where to go. They're that person that gives you that pep talk when you have that moment where you're like, whoa, can I actually do this? Like, am I in over my head? They're that person that just grounds you and tells you that things are going to be okay. So I say, pick somebody who genuinely believes in you. Find your best friend in the chapter and ask that person if they'd be willing to kind of go on this journey with you. You want it to be somebody who's really organized. They're going to be there for you. And somebody who can really kind of be your cheerleader and your hype man and just kind of put you in the best light possible. And when I think of a best friend, like, that's what a best friend does. You want them to be an active member, so you don't want to have an advisor. Well, you can't have an advisor, so you want to make sure that it's somebody who's in your chapter. Actually, do they have to be in your chapter, Anjali?
No, they just have to be an active member somewhere in the society.
So okay, so then you've got a whole world full of people to choose from. So if you know somebody from your region that you've just gotten really close with, maybe reach out to them. And they're not required, but highly, highly recommended. That way you have that person for your pep talk, and you have that person who brings you, your little bowl of fruit when you're too nervous to eat anything else before your speech. They're your person. Let's see here. Oh, and then your campaign team. So with this, you can have up to 20 members or alums on your team, basically. And they have the option to wear shirts, they can wear costumes. You can see in the picture here, they've all got those matching colors going on. And with your campaign team, again, you want it to be those people who can be your cheerleaders and who can be your hype men and really put you out there in the world. And I would say, I felt super intimidated because I really only had my chapter to rely on. And so I had probably 5 people in my campaign team. And I remember going into convention feeling really like intimidated seeing these huge campaign teams. And so I just want to give the advice to you that if you're feeling nervous, like, oh, I don't have as many people as this person that I'm running against, I would say make sure that your people are quality. Because I guess I'm a quality over quantity kind of person. So I feel like as long as you have people who genuinely believe in you, like that's what matters. So find people who I don't know, who support what you're doing and everything that you've contributed to Phi Theta Kappa. And they'll basically be in the marketplace kind of passing out those distributable pieces. They'll be saying, oh, hey, check out so-and-so. Make sure you head over to this booth. And you want to make sure that they have a good attitude, because if somebody, even if you're doing great and you have a great attitude, if this person who's representing you doesn't, it's going to reflect poorly on you. Again, quality over quantity. Let's see. Oh, and then the Orlowski Award. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a big group hug going on in that bottom photo. Basically, the Orlowski Award, I think Anjali describes it as the Miss Congeniality Award. And it's the candidate who best exemplifies the hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa. So they're the person who just really kind of goes above and beyond to make people feel comfortable and to bond with these people that you're on this emotional journey, essentially. And so at the end of the campaigning process, really, all the candidates cast their vote. I want this person to get this award. And whoever wins and gets the most votes gets a $1,500 scholarship. So it's really nice, just because I feel like it encourages a culture of kindness, which I would like to say is already inherent in Phi Theta Kappa. But if you're nervous at all about kind of crossing that bridge and, oh, what if it's Caddy? What if it's America's Next Top Model? Like, no, we got you. Like, it's nice. You're going to have a fun time. So that's it. Come to Catalyst. You want to be there no later than April 5th. That way you can make sure that you're at that mandatory candidate orientation session. And that way you can kind of get situated around the hotel, see where all your different meeting areas are, and just get settled in and get ready to have fun. But when in doubt, ask our wonderful Anjali, because she's got you covered. That's all I got for you.
Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you being willing to share information with those who are interested in pursuing this life-changing opportunity, win or lose. And I say that even as a candidate, former candidate myself, it's an amazing opportunity. You will not regret it. Anne, who's on the phone as well, she was a candidate. She was an Orlowski winner back in 2015, and her journey didn't end with a medallion saying that she was an elected officer, but now she serves on staff with me. So you just never know where your path will take you. Mm-hmm. Since we still have some time, and then I asked if anybody has questions, start typing now in the Q&A box, but I'm actually going to share Sydney's speech. And I think it'll be just a great opportunity for you to just get an idea, especially for those who've never been to a convention before, of the atmosphere in which you would potentially be given this speech and what we're looking for. So enjoy.
featuring International Vice President candidate Sydney Pemberton. Sex trafficking is a global epidemic, but whose responsibility is it to stop this? Why do people think they have the right to purchase children, young children off the sidewalks of the red light district in Thailand, steal them off the streets of the United States, or even at the Super Bowl? Why don't these adolescent children get the right to say no to a life of poverty and abuse? According to Shared Hope International, sex trafficking occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or manipulation against a child, typically 14 to 16 years old, to cause a commercial sex act. This business is fueled by the thousands of traffickers exploiting and purchasing both girls and boys as a form of sexual profit. Through the promises of love and protection, traffickers find their young victims through social networks, bars, the internet, and schools. The commercial sex trade has devastating consequences. Not only is the innocence and dignity of these children stolen, it can lead to long-lasting physical and psychological trauma, disease, unwanted pregnancy, and even death. But how extensive does this modern-day slavery reach? Americans are being sold by Americans. Often we don't think such awful acts could reach this close to home. However, 100,000 to 300,000 children are at risk to be forced into the sex trade each year. Globally, 21 million to 30 million men, women, and children are enslaved today, which means that there are more slaves now than the entire transatlantic slave trade combined, says the Allies Against Slavery organization. The human rights and dignity of these boys and girls have been stolen by their traffickers, and it is our responsibility as humans to stop the selling and trading of our own beings. It is crucial to start prosecuting traffickers, protecting victims, and preventing trafficking. The government and businesses are taking measures to mitigate the risks of human trafficking through creating anti-trafficking policies addressing the risks in their operations. Safe houses are being built in third world countries through individual organizations and missionaries to better protect and prevent the sexual abuse of women and children. Slavery still exists, and the fight against sex trafficking all over the world can be eradicated through the civil rights and responsibilities individuals have against abuse. Secretary of State John F. Kerry said it best in the 2015 government sex trafficking report when he said, "Money may be able to buy a lot of things, but it should never, ever be able to buy another human being." Thank you. From Coconut Community College in Arizona, Division 4 International.
Well, alrighty then.
Chills.
I know we had a question, and I don't quite know the answer to it. Anjali, are you ready for my question?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay. Jason asked, is it possible to campaign and also participate in the speech competition or the Scholars Bowl that's going on?
That is a great question, Jason. And the answer is unfortunately not. Mainly because the mere idea of campaigning is going to take every ounce of energy and brain capacity, but also because you are essentially exercising in a membership benefit. We want to make sure that other students who are not campaigning have those opportunities as well. So if you are an official candidate and you're on site, we encourage that you use those times to either campaign and be at your campaign booth, to rest and relax until the next events, or to be preparing in other ways for the candidacy. And I know that's something that's hard to also gauge, because you're saying, well, what if I don't make it to the finalists as a candidate? But by that time, all of the competitions would have been over by that time as well. So long story short, unfortunately, no. And something else in relation to the honor study topic speeches, we have a unique opportunity to have the Dean of Academic Affairs and Honors Programming, Susan Edwards, who will be hosting a webinar for those who are official candidates to go over the honor study topic and theme 5, beauty and vulgarity, just to give you some insight. So as you're doing some research, and if you have a topic in mind, she can potentially assist you dig a little deeper or put you in the right direction. So information will come out closer to that time in March. I think I saw another question. Does anybody want to shoot it out to the crowd?
I'm not sure I'm seeing the question, Angela.
I see one from Dakota. It says, so does that mean the music competition as well? I've auditioned and currently in 2nd place. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, congratulations. I am going to have to get back to you on that, Dakota, because that's a really big honor. And I would hate for you to miss out on that opportunity. And because it's the music competition, I think it has a little different involvement than the speech competition as well as the Scholar Bowl. So let me contact you after this, because I don't want to tell you wrong. But congratulations, 2nd place is awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
Congrats.
And for those who are just completely oblivious or no idea of what we mean when we say competition, convention competitions, if you go to ptk.org and there's a tab for events, and then you go to annual convention, it lists all of our competitions. We had a competition for membership campaign video. We had a music competition. That's an opportunity to audition to actually perform on the main stage at Catalyst. Scholar Bowl, that is a competitive quiz bowl, and also a prepared speech and an extemporaneous speech competition. And it's just other ways to get members. We have some really talented members across this country, and then we wanted to get them involved on site at Catalyst. So certainly go to the website to check out those opportunities. But if you're, again, as selected as a candidate, we would prefer that your focus would be on your campaign events and duties that week. Are there any other questions for our esteemed panel?
Dakota just asked if there's a way that they can enable communication between the candidates. He would love to connect with Running Mates and such. I know we had a Facebook page, but that was not until after the application process had closed. So once they get those finalized, I think you're probably doing that again, Angela?
Yes.
Okay.
Once we have the official list, if those who are not a part of Facebook, we encourage those to just create a dummy one just to participate in the conversation, even though there are ways to fellowship outside of Facebook. Is just certainly a common place that most people do have accounts with already. Also, we have a webinar right before you get to convention, and it's just an opportunity again to interact with one another. And we do share contact information just so you can send out personal notes. Last year and the year before that, candidates have been known to send little happies, as we call them, just to say, I know you're nervous just like I am. Can't wait to meet you. So just things like that in order to build those relationships before you're even on site.
I know last year Ashlyn sent postcards to everyone before we actually met in person. So that was like a little, it was really nice to get it and just see that like you're in this together. It's not an independent competition. This is something that you have the support of your fellow Phi Theta Kappa members. Yeah.
Very true.
So the question says, Dakota asked, what are some of the questions asked during the live caucus? Can you guys give some of the examples?
Yeah, I know one question I got was, what made you join Phi Theta Kappa? And so a lot of the questions really give you a lot of freedom to tell your story about why you joined the Honor Society, or what you plan to promote being elected as an international officer. So those are some kind of the questions that you're going to get. They're not, like I said earlier, they're not going to ask you a bunch of political questions or government questions. They really just want to be able to get to know you, and the audience wants to be able to get to know you better. And then they're going to throw some wild card questions at you. Like I said, I got asked my favorite pizza topping. And so really easy questions and just a way for you to be yourself on stage and let people see you for who you are.
I think it's also really good practice because during the marketplace, when you're at your booth, there are people that are going to come up to you and ask you all sorts of questions. While this may not be live in front of 500 people, they're probably going to ask you similar questions like why you ran for office, what can you do as an international officer. So really think about like what makes you you, and don't, like Sydney said before, it's about showing who you are. Don't think about what makes a good international officer. Yes, but if you're not those things, it's going to show through. So just show yourself, and people will like you for who you are.
I think one of the best pieces of advice I got kind of going into this was like, at the end of the day, I feel like people are going to elect whoever they want to see in office, whoever they feel qualities kind of best fit that office. And it's like if you don't genuinely if you're not being genuine and you get into that position, it's like you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. And alternatively, like I feel like you can kind of own that, you know, like it's not all about winning. And it's really, I feel, just about learning how to kind of put yourself out there and kind of stand next to a poster with a picture if you want it, and like sell yourself and tell people like, here's why you should believe in me. Here's why I believe in myself. And I think that even if, I don't know, I saw the whole campaigning process as this huge act of almost self-care and self-confidence. For me, it wasn't so much about winning. I think just being there and going through the process was what felt the most impactful for me.
Are there any other questions? Well, actually, I do have a question I think it would be good for you guys to answer. And if there aren't any other questions, then we go ahead and wrap up. But I would love to hear from your perspective, ladies, what has been the best aspect of your year in office?
I'll go first. I think the best part of my term has been really working with Phi Theta Kappa headquarters. It was my first time working at a professional level like this. So especially for our Golden Opportunity Scholarship, our goal was to increase membership. And the fact that we were able to work with the foundation department and that they were willing to work with us on our goal, I think it was just so enlightening. When we were preparing our goals, we were trying to think about how we could help members. But this question that Lynn asked us was, how do your goals help you as people as well? And just that question just changed the entire experience for me. So there's just a huge support system here, and I think that's what I was looking for when I joined Phi Theta Kappa. And as I'm going up the levels, I feel like I find more support and more love for people. So that was my highlight of the year.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I feel. Oh, go ahead, Cindy.
No, I want you to go.
Oh, God. All right. For me, I feel like traveling was really special. Again, I talk about this whole process being like almost a process of self-love and like just kind of self-discovery. And so for me, being able to travel around and meet so many different people has felt really special. I know I got to meet Jason. We got to see each other again when I was in Oregon earlier this year, and getting to go to Mississippi. I feel like I've just seen so much of the US that I would normally never, it would be a long time before I went out of my way to specifically like hang out in Colorado for a weekend with some fun people. So for me, I think that that's really a special opportunity. I think it's a chance to gain independence and a chance to, have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, traveling has been great, and meeting all these amazing members has been awesome. But one of the best things is actually being able to look back and see Sydney in your position a year ago, and be able to say, wow, look what I've done, and look at the leadership skills I have, and look how far I've grown, and look at the person that I've become. And so I think for me, that has been the most amazing revelation that I have had as an international officer, just being able to say, yeah, I can do that. And you guys will do an amazing job too.
Thank you for sharing, ladies. I'm just curious, Anne, if you're still with us, is there anything that you would like to share before you talk to them all again once we have the official candidate list?
Well, I am still here. I know I have my video turned off, but I'm honestly actually on the call. I do have, Dakota asked a good question here just a minute ago. He said he heard people asking, what would you like to do while in office? And then asked us, how would you guys answer that? And I will say that can be a tough question to answer because, as you've learned earlier in the presentation, that officers don't get to create new programs and they don't change policy. So you kind of have to gauge within the limitations what kind of goals you foresee having as an international officer. International officers can sit and make some goal decisions on membership. So, think about those goals you might have while you're in that position. What do the rest of the current IOs think?
Go ahead. We're doing it again. Go, Alexa.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, I feel like, So I feel like with becoming an international officer and kind of running for it, what I did was I talked to my region and I asked, what improvements do you feel like could be made as a society? Like where do you see a need? Like where do I fit into this big puzzle? And I feel like by starting there, you're going to see similarities between your region and then other regions, and you're going to be able to kind of create a statement that resonates with a lot of people. Alternatively, I think you can kind of see this position as a motivational speaker position almost, because you're speaking with so many people, and so the message that you have to share with the society could be, well, I want to educate people on this. I want to bring awareness to this. I want to foster conversations about this. As long as it's scholarly and it fits into the context of a meeting, of a conference, like you're golden. I would count that as a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just going to bounce off of Alexa and just say that it's a good idea to bring to convention a list of goals that you have for yourself, even while you're holding an international officer position. And maybe those will happen once you get to headquarters, maybe they won't. But if you bring some things that you're passionate about, like some of the hallmarks, like service, if you're passionate about service, bring that to the table once you're elected as an international officer and see what you can do with that. Like maybe you can start something, get something going. Maybe you can add on to something, to somebody else's goals that they may have. So make a list of things that you're passionate about and things that you would like to see happen. And who knows?
Yeah, I just want to add on to that. You could even start smaller at your chapter and see what your chapter is doing well that other people could maybe follow in the footsteps of. So it doesn't have to be just where is there a need, but what are we doing well that other chapters could follow. And again, don't be discouraged that you might not be able to do that goal once you're in office, but it's just that you have the initiative to see where your needs lie. I think Jason just asked a question. Are any of your distributable info pieces available to see online anywhere? I'm not sure about that.
They aren't, Jason, but if you send me an email, I'd be more than happy to get you copies of theirs and anyone else's that you would like to see. I can't thank you enough again for joining us this afternoon. It's been our pleasure. This recording will be emailed out for your viewing pleasures later if you can't sleep and you want to just chill out and watch this over again. You are more than welcome to. But we are so grateful that you would join us, and we hope you found this information helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You have my contact information in front of you. Also, if you want to ask the international officers questions, intof@ptk.org goes to all 5 of them, and they would be happy to respond to you. I've just put it in the chat. And we look forward to seeing your applications come through no later than February 22nd.
Yay!
And invite you to join us as the International Officer Candidates of 2017. Thank you guys once again. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thank
Bye, guys.